Hello, I'm Paul Bell, and this is That Review Show. Today we'll be reviewing Tremors 5 Bloodlines. Now, Tremors 5 Bloodlines revolves around Burt Gummer, played by Michael Gross, the mainstay of the whole Tremors franchise. Been there since Tremors 1 all the way up to 5 and is your main character in this one as well. Now, first thing you got to know about Burt Gummer, he's a survivalist, gun enthusiast, and now he can add Monster Hunter to that list. Like I said, being part of it from the beginning in Tremors 1 all the way up to 5, he's an expert on the graboid problem. Now, for those of you new to the franchise that might not know, graboids are giant subterranean worms who are blind and hunt their prey by seismic activity. Sound waves released when you step, what have you, on the ground. Now, great franchise. I would highly recommend seeing the 4 previous films before jumping into this. You may be a little lost if you're new to the franchise, but I can only recommend it. Whether or not you do it, it's all up to you. However, for those of you who know the franchise and have been there for that 25-year-old war against the graboids, number 5 is the new installment, the newest bit to the franchise, and I believe it's up to par with the rest of the films. Now, it has your classic, Burt Gummer banter, all serious military terminology. Of course, gun enthusiast, survivalist. Burt Gummer, man. There's a reason why he keeps showing up in these films. Played by, as I said, Michael Gross, who some of you might realize is the dad from Family Ties. Probably back before most kids kind of realize, but anyway, move on to his co-star, Jamie Kennedy, who plays Travis Walker, his new cameraman. Now, as you get into the movie, of course, you see the initial graboid attack, which is seen in each of the previous movies in the franchise. Seen in most movies. You see the killer, the villain, what have you, attack somebody, and it starts off the whole thing. Now, this is actually coming out of South Africa. So, it's kind of interesting. They've showed up in North America, Mexico, into Argentina, and now are found in South Africa. This will be their third continent that the graboids are invading. But I want to say that they say it takes place in the cradle of humankind, which is rather interesting, and some might say might just be a new explanation on the graboid problem. Now, graboids, awesome monsters. One of the reasons I like this series, it was a new twist. The predators that could come up from under the ground and get you were all land bound. I mean, not really immune to it. It's almost as iconic as Jaws, as we've done a previous review on the Jaws franchise. Jaws made everybody afraid to go in the water. Graboids makes you afraid to walk on the dirt, you know. But anyway, back to Tremors 5. I believe I've given you enough history. I'll give you some simple facts. In the beginning of the movie, as I said, you see the original graboid attack, which is a staple in every movie in the franchise. After that, you're introduced to Burt Gummer, the main character, through his survival TV show, which is interesting. He describes himself as survivalist, gun enthusiast, monster hunter. But he adds TV host to the list. Well, as he's filming, cuts away to Jamie Kennedy, aka Travis Walker, who gets on a dirt bike and decides to ride his way through the desert and into Burt Gummer's shoe. Now, this is the introduction to Jamie Kennedy in the film. As Travis Walker, apparently he was in some sort of negotiations with Burt Gummer's original cameraman. I don't believe they ever gave his name, however. They decided to switch gigs. Jamie Kennedy, as Travis Walker, is supposed to be a massive fan of Burt Gummer. loves the show and wants to help him further his brand and his merchandise. Now, not long after the two of them meet, the original cameraman books it, goes to a gig in Vegas, but the new problem, as it were, South Africa being invaded by graboids, uh, the head of the wildlife preserve that they are currently on approaches, and with Jamie Kennedy right by his side, Burt Gummer is asked to solve the graboid problem of South Africa. In which, at this time, Jamie Kennedy, offering his expertise to Burt Gummer and really endearing himself with Michael Gross's character, Burt Gummer, he does the negotiation for him, which Burt was already sold. He was going to South Africa to do what he loves, survive and hunt graboids. But Jamie Kennedy really got him to sweeten the deal. He really, kind of upped the ante, got this guy to pledge that he would pay for 3 years of Burt Gummer's filming costs of his show. So, without much after that, they go ahead, fly over to South Africa. Not too long into it, the fun begins. The hunting of graboids. They actually hunt the species that, if you're familiar with the franchise, the ass blaster. Now, for those of you who don't know, graboids have 3 stages of life. They have the graboid stage, which is the subterranean worm. They have the second stage, the shrieker, high-pitched screaming, squeals, use infrared to visually see their prey. And then there's the third installment, the ass blaster, which has small, almost bat-like wings on the side of it. It uses a combustible material to get up off the ground and then fly. Apt the name, ass blaster. Now, that third stage is what lays the eggs, and in turn you get graboids. But enough of the biology lessons for those who don't know the franchise. Back to the people who are here because they are tried and true fans. But overall, it's the action you expect. It's the Burt Gummer banter. Jamie Kennedy coming in, delivering his unique brand of comedy. I would say that with Jamie Kennedy being in a movie, you kind of expect a little humor, but I think we all saw Son of the Mask. Yeah. But overall, just really good. I felt that it really stayed true to the source material, really stayed true to the franchise. Overall, some real good action scenes, of course, explosions. They ran into a little problem in the beginning of the movie, the fact that they did not have the firepower they needed. Well, that made up with, a few friends that he made along the way, as long as a helicopter pilot who is actually quite interesting, and I think many of you will get a kick out of him. But overall, I'd say this is actually a really good film. It was released October 6th of this year. Of course, it's on Netflix. It's out on DVD and Blu-ray. Even if you're new to the franchise, I'd highly recommend this movie. I'd say at least a 7.5 out of 10. It may be I'm a little biased because I am a hardcore fan of the Graboids and Tremors franchise. Just a good movie. It's a horror movie. It's got its action, thriller, suspense, as well as just the fact that it's humorous in some ways. Just really sells it for me. I really enjoy this movie. Really enjoy this franchise, and I'd highly recommend picking up the whole series and franchise, as well as Tremors 5. Now, I'm sure at some point in time we'll be doing a Tremors, franchise review, which personally look forward to. I'm stoked about that. But as we leave it for now, Tremors 5 Bloodlines, it's definitely worth the watch. You got your action, you got your blood and gore. Some say strong language, but I believe it's just for the name Ass Blaster. But anyway, blood and gore. You got a beautiful Safarian landscape, so that's something to look forward to. and of course the antics of Michael Gross's Burt Gummer and Jamie Kennedy's Travis Walker. I would highly recommend this movie. Like I said, 7.5 out of 10. You really ought to check it out. Now, as we bring the review to a close, I would like to mention that us at the William Baxter Experience have been trying to branch out a little bit, as you've seen by some of our previous segments, our movie alert for the Phase 3 of Marvel. We are going to be doing a live stream October 16th, Friday of this week. We're looking to see if we can get a decent following, and if we can get this live stream going, we're looking to bring you some special events that might be able to have a little fun with, you know. So hopefully you'll check that out. Like I said, Friday, October 16th, live stream. Yeah, I figure it's going to be happening somewhere around between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. So, you know, we'll keep you posted. But from all of us here at the William Baxter Experience, this is That Review Show. I'm Paul Bell, and we'll see you guys later.